My name is Mike. I'm a 28-year-old salesperson at a trading company. Just an ordinary citizen. My performance isn't flashy, but I've gradually built a stable clientele and achieved steady results. Something unusual happened during my client visits yesterday. A car crashed into a woman crossing the street. Thanks to my shout, she managed to dodge the car and avoided fatal injuries, though she fell onto the road. After helping the woman up and calling an ambulance, I asked some bystanders to watch over her and headed to my next business meeting. Hey, Mike, did you see the news this morning? Sir, what can I do for you? To my surprise, the next day, my boss himself came to my desk and started a conversation with that. I, who have never been addressed by the boss, looked at him with confusion. Apparently, a security camera across the street had captured yesterday's accident. The TV show I watched before reporting for work featured extensively covering this news. The camera briefly caught the man's face. The news was treating the man who saved the woman as a hero. That man was you, wasn't it, Mike? Cornered by the boss's questioning, I couldn't just dodge the truth. Yes, it was me. But I have no intention of coming forward. I was speaking my truth. I didn't want to become famous. Dealing with interviews seemed troublesome. But upon hearing my words, the boss furrowed his brows and his expression turned stern. You've done something unnecessary. Do you have any idea who the woman you saved is? Something unnecessary. Had I done something wrong? Or did the boss expect me to come forward and use this as publicity for the company? What do you mean? I'd never met that woman before, and I hadn't seen her since. I recalled yesterday's events. The woman had managed to escape harm but couldn't walk because she had injured her leg. She was sitting in the middle of the road, just as the traffic light was about to change. The road was quite busy. If left there, she might have been hit by another car. Are you okay? Just bear with it for a moment. Hold on to me. I'll carry you to the sidewalk. Since the woman readily agreed, I lifted her in a sideways position and carried her to the edge of the road. She was surprisingly light. Passersby who saw this breathed a sigh of relief, thinking the danger was over, and gathered around us. Thank you. My name is Amy. I'd like to thank you somehow. The woman had striking blonde hair and was quite beautiful. Despite the season, she was dressed lightly, with slender legs extending from a short skirt. Despite her flashy appearance, she was politely expressed her gratitude. No need for thanks, really. I'm sorry, but I have to go. I have another commitment. You can't leave like this. At least let me know your name, so I can thank you properly later. It's all right. We should help each other out in times of need. An ambulance is on the way. The people around here will take care of the rest, so don't worry. Fortunately, it seemed her injury was just a twisted ankle. Nothing more serious. Someone nearby agreed to stay with her, so I left the scene. Reflecting back, I think I did the right thing as a first responder. I couldn't stay with her till the end because of work, but was that a mistake? The woman you saved only had minor injuries. That's good to hear. Not good at all. The woman you saved, turns out she's the daughter of a boss of a mafia group. It was even on the news. Really? I didn't see that part. But why are you concerned about it, boss? Don't play dumb. You've gotten yourself involved with the mafia. The girl's family is apparently frantic to find you. Or did you already know her? Were you with her during the accident? No, it was pure coincidence. I didn't know her at all. Getting involved with mafia associates during work, and now you're the talk of the news. As a salesperson, that's the worst. Is that how you operate? No, boss, not at all. That was never my intention. Even as I tried to correct the misunderstanding, he showed no sign of understanding. Even if you didn't intend it, that's how it turned out. It's only a matter of time before they find you. Information spreads fast these days. My boss was standing with his arms crossed, his eyebrows raised in a formidable manner. He was really worked up. It was a well-known issue among us that the boss wouldn't listen to anyone when he got like this. He was the epitome of a one-man show type of leader. Many employees had suffered under his behavior in the past. Rumor had it that some were even wrongfully dismissed and forced to resign due to his misunderstandings after being blamed for misconduct. One such employee had been excellent at his job, and his departure reportedly led to significant losses for the company. There were also whispers of improper behavior among female employees, though male employees, including me, haven't actually encountered it. He was said to behave poorly during breaks and at company drinking parties, engaging in gender-specific harassment. Hey, show me that. The boss pulled out a chart of all the sales employees' performance, pointing at my section. Mediocre performance, Mike. Is that your cover? Now it's clear that the mafia is backing you. Don't tell me you've been pretending to be an ordinary employee, funneling our money and information to them. That's a serious crime. No, boss. That's a wild accusation. Please don't misunderstand. Misunderstand. Ha, poi excuse. That's what everyone with something to hide says. You know how much I despise the underworld, right? Rumors like this can tarnish the company's reputation. You've given me an extra headache at a busy time. What should I do with you? The boss was breathing heavily, seemingly convinced he was dealing with a mafioso. Even if it were true that she was involved with the mafia, in that situation, not helping her would have meant she was hit by the car. I couldn't just ignore a life in danger. What would you have done, boss? What's the point in helping a mafioso? It only empowers them, letting them infest society. Why should I care about a life in danger? If they are, let them face their divine punishment. Maybe she was targeted by a rival group. That's too harsh. Besides, I had no idea she was the daughter of a mafioso. Ignorance is no excuse. The mere mention of the mafia disgusts me. But even so, on top of that, today's the day of the executive board meeting. The topic of conversation since morning has been about that accident near our company. It's inevitable. What if your mess blows back on me? Can you take responsibility for that? Responsibility? How could I possibly take responsibility for something like this? That's unreasonable. But in reality, my identity hasn't been revealed to anyone. You never know who might be watching where. Besides, even without that accident, you were suspicious. I need to disassociate you from our company before it gets out that you helped a mafioso's daughter. So, you're firing me, is that it? The boss seemed only concerned about saving his own skin, not considering my position at all. Of course, someone involved with any social forces is as good as them. There's no way I can overlook this. I can't keep someone like you employed. You'll be dismissed on disciplinary grounds. Disciplinary dismissal. That would ruin my entire career. It's a fitting consequence for someone who got involved with the underworld. Our company prides itself on being clean. If you're worried about finding another job, why don't you join the mafia? The boss, pleased with his own idea, laughed heartily, his throat visible. I felt anger boiling up at the boss who barely listened to me, insisting on his own misconceptions. His way of handling things felt more forceful and unreasonable than anything the mafia might do. Then, the office phone rang. Apparently, a massive number of black cars had gathered in front of the company building, blocking the delivery trucks from entering. I could tell from the distressed tone of the delivery service on the line. What's going on? I hurriedly looked out the window, and indeed, the street in front of the building was packed with black luxury cars. Even from the fifth-floor office, it was clear that many cars were stuck in the jam. See, I told you. The mafia must have found our company. That's impossible. I never gave my name. There's no way they could know this place. Stop playing dumb. Did you call them here? No, boss, I swear. I don't know anything about this. Enough. The boss dismissed my words, waving his hands as if to silence me. Anyone associated with criminal organizations is fired. But boss, he was always quick to make decisions. And it seemed he wasn't going to listen to me this time either. Outside, there were sounds of agitated car horns honking repeatedly. What on earth is happening today? It's unbelievable. It looks like your ride is here, Mike. Pack your things and leave immediately. Outside, the security guards had managed to sort out the traffic, and it seemed the delivery truck was able to pass through. Boss, it's okay now. The road is clear. Just as I was trying to calm the situation, a call came from the receptionist. What? A visitor for me. A group of them. Understood. Let them in for now. I wasn't expecting any visitors today, and a sense of dread washed over me. Boss, I'm sorry, but I have visitors unexpectedly. I'll handle them. Please go back to your board meeting. No way. trying to escape. I'll make sure to see you off from our company myself. Soon, a noisy commotion approached from the hallway. It sounded like a large group. Entering the office, the sight almost made me lose my balance. There, among the group, was the blonde beauty I had saved yesterday. Her name was Amy. Poor thing, she had a cast on one leg. It's quite bold of you to show up here in broad daylight, the boss remarked sarcastically. It was an extraordinary scene. What was astonishing was the number of people accompanying her. About 10 men were surrounding her, all dressed in black suits. Their collars and cuffs revealed tattoos, and many wore sunglasses. They clearly weren't ordinary civilians. One middle-aged man, particularly close to Amy, looks especially tough. Mr. Johnson, this is for you." Amy handed me a familiar-looking business card holder. "Thank you for yesterday. I didn't get your name, but you left this behind. I'm very grateful to you. My injury will heal soon, and I'll be able to return to work." Lost in her calm voice, I forgot the situation for a moment, mesmerized by her beauty. It was surprising to find such an attractive woman in this world. Wearing a more subdued black suit than the day before, her charm was even more apparent. "Thank you as well. I was in trouble without my business card holder. By the way, who are all these people with you?" This is my..." Before Amy could finish, the boss's loud voice drowned her out. "See, I told you, your identity is already exposed. Them finding out who you are and then storming into your workplace, what's all this?" The boss was triumphant as if he had caught a criminal red-handed. "Quiet, you." The reprimand from the man next to Amy silenced the room. It was rare for anyone to talk back to the boss in our company. The employees visibly flinched. The boss, too, seemed taken back by the unfolding scene. "And who are you to speak to me like that? You've got some nerve." "You're the one with nerve. I'm the head of the Blackwood Group. I came here today to see Mr. Johnson. Sorry for the commotion with my entourage, but I wanted to express my gratitude." "Well, thank you, but that's really not necessary. That's not good enough. You saved my daughter, and I'm grateful." With that, the group of stern-faced men in black suits all looked at me with gratitude. It was a first-time experience for me, being thanked by such tough-looking men, and I couldn't help but feel overwhelmed. "If there's anything I can do for you, just ask. I want to repay you properly." "That's really not necessary. It's not a good time for me to be receiving favors." "Aha, I knew it. You've been taking benefits from the mafia." The boss was fuming like a child who had found a flaw in someone else's work. "Benefit? It's only right to show gratitude when someone helps you. Your company's old boss sure is loud. How dare you call me an old man? I'm the CEO of this company. An old man is an old man. It figures with a small-minded CEO like you. How dare you? You think you can talk back to me? Do you even know the scale of our company's achievements? You're nothing compared to us. What does that matter to me? I fear no one. You're not even worth my time. How dare you?" The boss, riled up, was met with calm defiance from the group's leader. "Oh my, you're quite hot-tempered. You wouldn't last in my organization." I couldn't help but burst out laughing. At the thought of the boss joining a mafia group, he glared at me sideways when he saw me laughing. "Don't be ridiculous." As the boss moved towards the leader, the executives who had been waiting in the meeting room came out to intervene. They sensed trouble within the company. Some of them shrank back at the sight of the mafia members. A natural reaction. Realizing the boss was not the person to talk to, the leader addressed the executives. "Your CEO is quite the troublemaker, lacking any common sense. My daughter, despite being related to me, lives separately and has been raised as an ordinary citizen. She's now a model, often misunderstood because of her appearance, but she's living a sincere life. That explained her beauty. She was a model. Her refined demeanor must be the result of the strict world of show business. The way things are going, it seems like my CEO is more of a mafia. After all, Amy is living an honest life, despite being a mafioso's daughter. It's unfair to treat her like a criminal based on news reports." "You're right. The news tends to sensationalize stories about my father, which is troubling. Mr. Johnson just treated me like any other person. Mr. Johnson understands well. He's the man who immediately helped my daughter. Unlike this old man who keeps repeating mafia, mafia, he's made of better stuff." The boss was at a loss for words. His jaw clenched and his fists shaking. That's exactly it. Without knowing the facts, you didn't listen to anything I said. Johnson, how dare you talk back to me, a mere employee? Well, I'm astounded. Have you forgotten that it's because of employees like him that you can sustain your lifestyle? You couldn't even afford that necktie on your own. A leader who disregards his staff is less than third-rate. Silence. Don't you dare speak to me like that. The boss's outburst prompted the leader's men to roll up their sleeves. Though he gestured for them to stay calm, it appears we are not welcomed here. Creating a scene would trouble Mr. Johnson. The men glared at the boss, and one of them had an idea. He removed his sunglasses and forcibly put them on the boss. What are you doing? Get off me. In front of the flailing boss, the men's expressions shifted dramatically, signaling a shocking realization. What's this? The previously composed group leader was now visibly unsettled. The revelation seemed to take everyone by surprise. The members of his group were whispering among themselves, "It's him. Definitely no mistake." I was still trying to piece together what was happening, looking back and forth between the boss and the group leader in confusion. It was you all along. What's going on? It's not directly related to you, but I know this man. Directly related. I was nearly fired just for helping Amy. Fired? Why would you be fired for helping someone? Well, no offense, but the boss here despises the mafia. It seems he didn't like that I helped Amy, equating me to antisocial elements. That's intolerable. Your act of helping my daughter being equated to criminality. To say acquaintances of antisocial elements are the same as them. Then, you're antisocial too. What do you mean? Why do you know our boss? Our group has dealings with this man. He has borrowed a significant amount of money from us. He always comes disguised with sunglasses in the early morning or late at night. So, the boss is connected to antisocial elements, yet tries to fire me under the pretense of hating them. That's the height of hypocrisy. I don't know what you're talking about. It must be a case of mistaken identity. You're just trying to pin something on me to get money. Why would we fabricate such an easily exposed lie? Just confess. The executives and staff, with stern faces, turned their attention to the boss, whose panic was evident despite his words. Yes, I can forget that face. You can hide your eyes with sunglasses, but not the mole beside your nose. As I pondered whether the boss even had a mole near his nose, he hastily covered his nose with his hand. Seeing this, the group leader and his men burst into laughter. This is priceless, caught so easily. I always use this trick to test people, but this reaction is the best I've ever seen. The members were holding their sides in laughter, nodding in agreement with the leader's words. Some were blatantly mocking the boss, calling him a fool. Haha, I understand the amusement, but maybe let's leave it at that. The boss is pretty upset. You're making a fool out of me. You tricked me. That's dishonest. Dishonest. You're the one deeply involved with us, yet you're quick to cut off someone who helped our daughter. That's far more deceitful. I don't tolerate anyone who doesn't honor their commitments. One of the executives, the most senior and closest confidant to the boss, spoke up. Why was our CEO borrowing money from such people in the first place? Instead of the boss answering, the group leader replied, well, it's not for ordinary expenses. Gambling. High-stakes gambling at that. He was involved in all sorts of bets in the underworld. A shockwave ran through the office. Nobody had imagined the boss had such a hobby. This stern, always serious executive frowned upon hearing this. What? Then I can't defend the CEO either. It's different. I'll explain everything later in detail. The boss, seeing his support waning, desperately apologized. Later. Explain it now. Have you been gambling? It was just a little gambling. Just for fun. A little fun that cost $6 million. You really are on a different scale, aren't you? The leader taunted. His mockery suggested he was enjoying exposing the boss's hypocrisy. It's an incredible amount. You must have had considerable assets. An executive interjected, stunned by the revelation. I've pretty much blown through all of that. I've borrowed from every lender possible, but I need more capital to hit a bigger jackpot. I'll double it and pay it back soon. Everyone falling into the abyss of gambling says that. It seems you have no more moves left. Plus, you've been avoiding us lately, disguising yourself and not showing up. We were just about to track you down, but this saved us the trouble. Good job." The leader praised the member who tricked the boss, who bashfully smiled at the recognition. "What shall we do with him? Taking over the company would trouble the employees. Perhaps forced labor would be appropriate. Paying off $6 million. I wonder if he could do it before he drops dead." The boss, in utter desperation, threw himself at the leader's feet, pleading for mercy. "I never imagined you would come here. I'll definitely pay back the money. Please overlook this incident." Overlook? You're in no position to say that. You've borrowed money for gambling and are now trying to evade repayment. The deadline has long passed. Plus, you're anti-mafia, saying anyone associated with them should be fired. How can you say that when you're involved with us? If it were up to me, you wouldn't get off with just being fired. What should we do to settle this? Please, I'm begging you. I'll pay off the debt, and we'll forget about Johnson's firing. That's not something you can negotiate. I detest selfish people like you. Borrowed things should be returned. Even a child knows that. Can't you even keep a promise? I'm just in a bad streak now, but I'll win big soon. I'm tired of such excuses. People like you end up being preyed upon by money-hungry opportunists, using us for your own gain while discriminating against Yakuza in your clean company. What a character. The leader's tone was calm, but his gaze was intensely sharp. Everyone understood that this was a man not to be crossed. CEO, you said that anyone involved with antisocial forces is just as bad. You boasted about how clean our company is. What about now? To think he calls this clean. You're more suited to be a con artist than a CEO. The leader and his entourage erupted in laughter, highlighting the boss's fall from grace. As an employee under such a CEO, the situation was far from a laughing matter for me. Looking down at the CEO prostrating himself, I couldn't help but express my disappointment. I never thought you'd be such a despicable person. I will never call you CEO again. The executives gathered around the boss, and the senior-most among them declared, "We're removing you from the position of CEO as of today." "Wait, please. I have my reasons," the boss pleaded. "You didn't listen to the circumstances before trying to fire an employee, did you? Isn't this the same? Besides, we can keep someone involved with the mafia in our company. No one would invest in such a company." The decision to remove the CEO was made swiftly by the decisive executives. But then what about Johnson, who was involved with the mafia? Johnson didn't know she was the daughter of a mafioso. He even refused the gratitude offered. There's no financial connection, so there's no problem. Relieved to hear this, I finally felt a weight lift off my shoulders. Meanwhile, the office erupted in laughter again. "Ha ha ha. Serves you right. Hey you, come here." At the leader's command, the boss was grabbed by the arms and dragged in front of him. "We're going to straighten out your rotten character. Prepare yourself for the life starting today." The leader's tone had changed from polite to stern and threatening. The members joyfully patted the boss on the shoulder, saying, "We'll take good care of you." It seemed that as payment for his debts, the boss was destined to be put to work by the mafia group. Ever done construction work? No. Don't worry. Our kind seniors will teach you everything. Please, I'm sorry. Have mercy. What? After using us, now you don't want to work yourself? You've got some nerve. Keep messing around and we might just make sure you can do construction work at all. Please, stop, I'm begging you, don't take me. And so, the CEO was gone from the company. My actions led to being hailed somewhat like a hero in the office. It turned out there were far more people troubled by the CEO than I had realized. I regularly heard updates about the former CEO. He was put to hard physical labor, a grueling task for his aging body. He was often yelled at by supervisors much younger than him, and his work quality was reportedly poor. One day, while on a sales call, I stopped by a vending machine near a construction site. "Is that the CEO?" There, rummaging for coins at the foot of the vending machine, was unmistakably the former CEO. He looked exhausted, dirty, and unrecognizable from his former self, having lost all his confidence and the means to indulge in his gambling habit. When our eyes met, he quickly screamed away in embarrassment. "But there's more to my current life. I've started dating Amy. She's incredibly beautiful, almost flawlessly so. She turns to me with that perfect face and asks, "Hey, Mike, what do you want for dinner tonight?" "Anything's fine with me." That's the hardest answer. "Well then, I'll make your favorite, grilled shrimp." The more I get to know Amy, the more charming she becomes. The group leader, considerate of our relationship, doesn't intrude on us. But occasionally, we enjoy video calls together, often discussing various topics including the ex-CEO. He's really useless. You know, Mike, the thing about men is, the leader, having experienced the ups and downs of life, shares his wisdom. These conversations have improved my communication skills significantly, contributing to my rise to the top in sales performance at work. I've come to value the lessons and discernment I've learned from the group leader, and strive to become someone who judges not just by position but understands what truly matters.